Here's the question I want to pose to you, and I'm posing to everybody else. Are dogs better than people?
The millennial generation is as follows.
Welcome to
Surrounded by idiots.
Radio Podcast.
I'm Tony. That's Mariah. Welcome to the Surrounded by Idiots Radio Podcast. Hey, everybody. This week is going to be fun, and you don't know really what the title of this show is going to be. You know what the subject matter is, and that's dogs. Right. The subject matter is dogs.
Which I love.
And here's the question I want to pose to you, and I'm posing to everybody else. Are dogs better than people?
Yes.
First of all, again, it's the Captain Obvious question.
Right.
I thought you might waver a little bit because
I don't waver
because it does come to. I know you don't, but it does come down to context, and it comes down to what do you mean by that? But overall, that's the first instinct that you have, right? The first impulse that you have. Yeah. I asked the women in my life, all the women except for my daughter, because I didn't raise her with a dog because it was hard enough doing just her.
That was enough.
And then we were always running around, and she was either in soccer or dance, it was just crazy. And she really didn't say, "Hey, Dad, we should get a pet." We really didn't go into that. So besides her, I talked to everybody that I knew, and I asked them the same question. And instantaneously, it was almost like when you hit the knee with a little hammer in the doctor's office, and I believe that's called a reflex.
Correct.
And the reflex is, yep, dogs are better.
Yep, they are.
So let me ask you, I have a whole bunch of stuff I want to talk about, but let me ask you just right off the top of your head, why?
Because they give you unconditional love, always. There's no faltering in it. No matter what you do, no matter how bad you screw up, they're there, and they love you, and they don't care. They just always give you love, always.
Always. And that rolls into my thoughts. I'm going to talk about my thoughts, and then I'd like to get your opinion on my thoughts as we go through.
Okay.
So I just wrote down, I have 6 things that just off the top of my head, they reflect foundational characteristics like unconditional love, a heightened sense of awareness, and intuition, traits that we would like to have ourselves like at that level, and we'd like others to have that as well, especially in relationships, I would think a lot of times. The second thing is they're masterful at reading people, and in terms of being a judge of character. And we'll go into that a little bit later. That's a big thing. Number 3, they don't talk.
It's a beautiful
gift. They don't talk, right? Number 4, they live in the now. They absolutely live in the now. They have it's almost they have like a short-term rote memory, but they have memory. It's one of those things where it goes in, it's just, they so live in the moment.
Right.
They, number 5, they can be trained.
Yes.
Sounds like a perfect boyfriend or husband, doesn't it?
Oh, doesn't it though?
And I really think that's the reason why so many women love dogs, because I think they'd be like the perfect husband. Number 6, they make you feel important every single day.
Yes, they do.
Now those are the things that right off the top of my head that I thought of, just kind of the reasons why, based upon my personal experience as well as my experience in relationships, as well as my experience just with friends with dogs, and the fact that they are literally, they're not just a member of the family, and I'm speaking to you. They're not just a member of the family. They're like prioritized in the family. It's scary. So I want to talk about a study that I found. It's by Link AKC that they did very recently, and here's some numbers that are sort of mind-blowing, but they're not, I guess. 6 in 10 surveyed indicate their dogs often take care of them in some way. 88% say their dogs make them a better person. That's a lot. I don't know.
That's a lot. That's huge.
82% reported an improvement in mental and emotional health with their dog. I get that because dogs are amazing it's that level of connection and just acceptance, and that's why therapy dogs are so popular, and they're just a brilliant tool. And you know this as a nurse and being in the hospital and all that stuff. It's such an amazing tool. 65% cite that their dogs get them out of their house, and they're more healthy as a result because of walking and jogging and all that stuff. Turns out there's no better confidant than a dog. with 73% saying that they tell their dog things they wouldn't tell anybody else.
Yes, also accurate.
I didn't know that.
Very true.
I gotta tell you, that was a laugh out loud when I first read that, because I've never experienced that, so I thought that was fun. 90% of people say their dogs make them feel safe. Mm-hmm. 80% note that a potential romantic partner not liking their dog is a deal breaker.
Oh, for sure.
And I have to say,
Take him to the curb.
I'm surprised it wasn't 100. Number one.
Yeah, I am surprised it wasn't 100.
Number two, it goes more, I think, the other way than that way. I think it's more about you guys looking at your dog in terms of saying, okay, you're the one. You give me the skinny on this guy. Mm-hmm. And the one thing I've done always, knowing this and understand, and I have a very good, kismet relationship with animals. I have a feeling I just kind of gel with them and we kind of flow and it's all good. And I've always been that way with dogs. Cats are another thing, because I don't want to get into that because I don't want to offend anybody. But let's just talk about dogs for a second.
Good plan.
But I always make sure that I connect with the dog, because that, I know how important that is to you guys. Mm-hmm. Super important to that, because you'll go, oh, my dog doesn't like him. That literally is a deal breaker. It's not like I don't like your dog. It's like the dog doesn't like me.
The guy's probably a psychopath.
Right?
Kick him to the curb. Yeah.
Right?
No, really.
Because of the intuition and the fact that they can sense some things that other people can't. So they can sense character.
Oh my God, yes.
Right? Well, that's
absolutely.
Yeah. In a 2015 study, it was revealed that we actually bond with dogs similarly to how we connect with babies. And this was a study that was published in Science magazine.
I believe that.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yes, I believe it, though.
With babies. According to Time magazine, the rise of animal therapy is backed by increasingly serious science showing that social support, and it can come on four legs. Animals of many types can help calm stress, fear, and anxiety in young children and the elderly. So we already know that. Mm-hmm. Another thing that I read was, and it's not here on my cheat sheet notes, but I did read, was they did a study. And they brought people in, and then they read them a headline. And the headline was three different headlines. The first headline was, somebody got, beaten up with a piece of wood, and somebody got beaten up. Mm-hmm. And then they went through and they tried to measure their level of empathy about the person getting beat up. Then they said an infant got beat up with a piece of wood, and it was terrible, and people had. Then they said a dog got beat up. And the thing is that the testers, the dog and the baby, right here, same exact level. The people, seriously, there was a huge gap between somebody getting beaten the crap out of with a baseball bat, and then and then kids or the dogs getting harmed, because the kids and the dogs were the same result in terms of that level of empathy. This is not just not a stating the obvious, but it's more about. I think it's more about being okay with saying that dogs are better than people. I think it's and to me, I think it's because they reflect every day the positive traits that we wish that we had every day.
Yes. They have no negative traits. Aside from the ones that are super aggressive and have behavioral issues, and those are usually a result of how their owner treated them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, the training. Exactly. It has nothing to do with them inherently.
Mm-hmm. And I think it's okay to say that. Some people have this relatively, this level of guilt because they think that if they say that, they're not a good person or whatever. But I think it's okay. And it's funny because I was looking through, and I'm going to bring it up real quick just so I can take a quick look at it. There is when you put in dogs are better than people, the list is lengthy on Google. And it's not just related topics in terms of dogs are good at no. It's like dogs better than people. It's like 5-6 pages full. And Psychology Today had a thing on it. Newsweek ran something. They had all sorts of stories. They have superpowers dog. BuzzFeed had a deal on it. So that's sort of what it is. So I want to roll that into a couple things in terms of my own personal experience, and these are all with women. So I suppose the question to you is: do you think it's more of a girl thing than a guy thing?
No.
You don't?
I don't. But I do think that I think guys show it differently, so you wouldn't know that.
How so?
So I think girls in general we're very emotional creatures. We're a little bit more outward with our expressions, right? So when we love our animal, just like when we love our baby, we're very open about it. And the way we show it is basically to treat them like a baby, we scratch their ears and we snuggle with them and we treat them, like a member of the family. Guys, much like how they show their love in different ways, I feel like they have that same deep level of love and connection for their animals, but they just come about it differently. So, you might see these really rugged men that are kind of quiet, outdoorsy types, but they're always with their dog. The dog's on the hunt with them. The dog's in the boat with them. The dog's in the truck with them. And they would be devastated if anything happened. And so they might be quiet about it, but I feel like they have the same exact connections, just in a different way.
All right, well, that makes sense. A couple things I was thinking of. Do you think dogs look like their owners?
Well, my dog's blonde, so I mean, I don't know. But I do think we have the same soulful expression in our eyes.
Is that what it is? The soulful expression? you realize you're talking about your dog just now.
I do.
I'm just saying.
I
just
do.
Out there. And another thing that strikes me as, I don't know, interesting is seeing like a big guy with a tiny, tiny dog, or it's something that just throws you off.
Right.
Is that just me,
poodle?
or is that kind of strange? It sort of doesn't make. I don't know.
I think you're right. No, I feel like dogs, when they're well matched with an owner, do sort of reflect either what their owner looks like or kind of the overall persona. So, a lot of times you'll see these like lean, athletic men or women, and they'll always have like a lab or like a golden retriever that they're out jogging with, right? And then you see, lazy people like me that enjoy like laying on the couch eating ice cream, and I have a lazy lap dog who also enjoys sleeping and eating treats. And so it kind of makes sense, but it is hilarious when you see people that are so weirdly matched.
Isn't it strange? I know.
Yeah.
And there's an interesting thing that when I was growing up, they always threw this thing out. It's one of those philosophical questions about the train and flipping the switch, and it either kills 5 people or 1 person, that type of thing. Well, this one was about the dog, and it was always if a dog and your boyfriend fell through the ice, who would you help first?
My dog.
Yeah. That just that boggles my mind. I have to admit, that just does.
I'm gonna throw something back at you that will boggle your mind more, and that is that when I was pregnant, my sisters very seriously asked me, if you could only save your baby or your dog out of a burning building, who would you save? Right. And I just stared at them, and they're like, that should be an obvious response. No. And I'm like, it's not.
No, but that's again, and I think that honestly, first of all, I can't relate to that. Obviously, I can't.
Right.
And I'm like, what are you talking about? Of course, it's it'd be, but I get it. I get it. And
I love them both so much.
And I don't think you're in the minority on this.
No.
And that's
like it's like Sophie's Choice.
That's crazy. I mean, that's why I want to do this show, because I'm like, it's one of those things I throw this stuff out there. I'm like, really? So there are so many personal stories that I could share from, and they're all from women. Friends or past relationships or sisters or whatnot. And I'll just run through a couple. My ex-wife, we had Sam. Did you ever meet Sam?
No.
The golden / lab rescue dog that was such a disaster.
Oh.
He was such a disaster because there's something wrong. There's a little something wrong, and then he had serious problems because he ate fertilizer or something. So my ex is now she's not married, but she has her own little baby girl now. And before that, she always said to me, and that was, we divorced like 6 years ago. And she always said, I don't think I could ever love somebody as much as I love Sam. Ever. We would spend almost $1,000 a month on him for vet stuff. $1,000 a month. Yeah, dog.
I believe it.
Dog. $1,000 a month.
No, I believe it.
Yeah, that was a bone of contention.
I did it once.
Stuff. And again, I'm not coming off as being somebody who doesn't appreciate and respect dogs and
No.
our symbiotic relationship with them, because I think they're unbelievable. But that, and then there's someone that I know, and she said you have to use the name Sophia for me as her name.
Okay.
But she's got a little dog. She's got a little dog named Ruby, and they like Sunday mornings are just her and Ruby in the bed, and she like makes out with Ruby. Not like makes out, but you know what I mean? Like the snuggling
and the kiss
and the whole thing and the what?
For sure.
I'm like, okay. That works for you. Yeah, she won't do brunch because she needs her time with Ruby.
I love it. Oh, Ruby.
And then Mel, you know Mel.
Yeah.
So actually, Mel has 50-50 custody of her dog with her ex-boyfriend. So literally, they have. I said, "What are you talking about?" She goes, "Yeah, I have custody. I go out and I get them, and I do this, and again, I have 50-50. Yeah, that's like a divorce with the thing.
No, that's a thing you have to do.
My sister got a yellow, or no, golden. She got a golden, and it's the child in the house.
Yeah.
Her older sons got kicked to the curb. She sent off her Christmas card last year, not this year, but last year. The Christmas card, usually it's family pictures and what happened during the year and all that kind of stuff. This time, this Christmas card were 7 pictures of the dog. No, that's it. There was no human being on the Christmas card. 7
That's
pictures
fabulous.
of the dog.
I bet people loved that card.
Yeah, loved it,
so
or
much.
thought, what the hell's going on here? Yeah, that was
Maybe
my
but
my.
I would have loved it.
And then that leads me to you and your crazy,
My crazy baby.
crazy baby. And what was happening right before I called?
Oh, sweet Jesus. Okay, so she, poor thing, she's got to go tomorrow to the vet, have her bad leg checked out. Well, I was upstairs trying to put Logan down for a nap, and I heard her frantic, like yelping, crying downstairs. So, of course, I am flying down the stairs, and she's got her foot caught in this woven blanket that my sister made me. Like, the toenails are caught, the foot's wrapped in, so I'm trying to get it out. She's freaking out. She's fighting because she thinks I'm trying to hurt her and she's scared. So I have gloves on, big winter gloves, and she went to town. There are definitely cuts and bruises all over me. Trying to get this foot it's still tangled. It's
still tangled.
It's still tangled. I can't get it out. I tried box cutters. I tried everything to try to get it. I can't get it.
How did it get that tangled?
I have no idea.
Wow.
I feel terrible too cutting the blanket because Tara just made it for me.
Oh, that's such a bummer.
So anyway, it's miserable. So I'm trying to figure out what to do. But right now she's curled up with her pillows and her puff, and
she's tangled, and she's still tangled the blanket.
Yeah, but she's not crying right now, so that's good.
That's good. That's always a positive.
For now, I already called my husband bawling.
Oh, good God.
And told him, I can't believe this always effing happens to me when I'm alone.
Mm-hmm.
You never have anything happen to you when you're with the two of them alone. And yeah.
Yeah, and so, well, that's a good place to end it. And any other things that you want to say in regards to, dogs and people, and you don't feel guilty at all, do you? The fact that you,
I don't feel guilty at all.
That you truly believe that dogs are better than people.
I truly believe that. And let me just tell you, I'm going to give you one quick story, and that is that when I was pregnant, I was miserable. I was sick as a dog. I was depressed so bad that I felt like my head wasn't attached to my body for months, and I would just stare at the ceiling most days. It was horrific. And my dog sat with me for 9 months on that couch, would not leave my side. Every time I went into the bathroom and threw up, she was right at my feet, waiting and just laying there while I was sick. And when I went into labor, she was with me for 6 hours, pacing around the house while I hadn't even woken Chris up. She was with me the entire time, just sitting there and following me and kissing me and snuggling with her head on my lap until he woke up. So she is my baby, and I adore her, and she always knows what I need, and she is so fabulous. So yeah, I think she is better than all the people I know.
Yeah,
all of them.
You're right. Yeah.
All of them.
I have to admit, I know Mason.
Yep.
And I'm a fan. I think she's great.
Thanks.
Yeah.
So glad.
Yeah. She's
You
great.
better be.
Yeah. Oh, but you already know that. We already did that.
No, I know,
Because
I know.
anytime I at your house, we just start,
She loves
messing
you.
around,
Yes,
playing
so
and
see,
stuff
she's a
and
good
stuff.
judge of
Yeah, she is.
character.
She's a very. Thank you. Exactly my point.
Very good.
That's exactly
Cody's
my point.
great, everyone.
If
Mason says so.
yes. The Mutual Admiration Society is now over.
Yep.
And we're moving forward. So I want to say my last thing is that I want to mention something quickly about from an evolutionary psychological state. Evolutionary psychologists have studied the symbiotic relationship between dogs and people forever, and they actually indicate that the shift, the DNA shift from wolves to dogs happened about 100,000 years ago, which is about the same time as we started developing into the Homo sapien type stuff. So it sort of happened at the same time. And fascinatingly enough, they have found that both of our brains, the dog's brains and our brains, have shrunk just a little bit in certain parts. Our brains have shrunk in the part of having to be overly intuitive or overly sensitive or overly aware because of the fact that we had dogs to help us because they can sniff things out and they can alert us if there's an issue in terms of danger. That's how interwoven that we are with them. And then with them, a small portion of their brain is not the same size because they don't have to fend for themselves so much. They don't have to go out and search, and they're not as hunter-ish as they used to be because they don't have to, because that's the relationship that we have with them. That our responsibility is to take care of them and feed them and clean up their stuff after them. And I don't know who has the better deal on that anyway. That's that whole thing about the aliens that come down to Earth and they look around and they see this guy picking up dog crap and he's like, well, who's running the show here?
You're like, I'm going back.
Who's running the show? Is it that one or is it that one? Was it that one on the four legs or is it that guy? Because that guy's picking up that guy's crap. So who what the hell's going on here? But,
true story.
Right, but that's how interwoven we are, and that's why I think that would I say dogs are better than people? I certainly wouldn't, but I certainly would say that they are just as. Yeah, just as with the best qualities that we have, and I think that's
all the
why.
positives.
Because you know why? Because they don't have an ego. They don't have an ego. They don't get caught up in all that other crap that we get caught up in, and that's why we look at them, and it's almost like we project the fact that, oh man, I just wish that I could operate like that.
Yes,
Ego
I do,
less.
often.
You know, you take your ego and put it on the shelf. That's all.
Shove it aside.
And that's why they're such. That's why they're great to have around, and that's why hopefully more of us can be more like dogs.
Amen.
Okay, and for the record, I'm not following up with the cat show.
Good.
Just for the record.
Cats
and
are
please,
assholes.
and if you like cats,
Just kidding.
great. I don't think you are. That's the whole thing.
You're right. I'm not.
I didn't think so.
No, some cats are cute. Some cats.
Yeah,
are cute.
I'm not gonna
Ones that are like
I'm
dogs.
not gonna disparage them. It's like religion with me. If it works for you and it makes you a better person, then rock and roll. Do I agree with it? Not in a million. But if it works for you, I mean, if you have
if you like it,
yeah, exactly. If you have a ferret that works for you, or a parrot, or I didn't mean a dog. I didn't.
all of those animals need homes as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, there you go.
All animals should be treated nicely.
Right. Well, thanks for joining us. That was the show. Remember, we do a video for this, and I'm holding up my book. The book is out. Surrounded by Idiots. The book
It's so
is
good.
out. Did you purchase it, or
I bought it.
You did buy it.
I haven't finished it yet, but I've been reading it.
Okay.
Yes, you're sitting on my coffee table for the world to see.
Oh wow, beautiful. Okay, great. Well, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So far so
Anytime.
good, I would assume. I mean, I'm not putting it on the
Love
spot,
it.
but I am putting it in the spot.
No, it's fabulous. It's funny. It's intelligent. I love it. I knew it was going to be great.
Thank you very much. And hopefully there's one little piece that you can take from that and do something with. Because that's really all that, my whole thing about the book is, and I'm not going to go way into this, but it's about taking you from learning how the world works, learning how you work, and then meshing those together and then doing something with it. And that's the whole point of the book, is doing something with it. Do something with it. That's why I set up a whole project thing at the end, to where you just do a little teeny project. And then you get your brain used to doing that. And it kind of slides the ego to the side. And that's the whole point of doing all this kind of crap. So I hope everybody's good, and remember, you can go to javabud.com. You can do the videos and all that kind of stuff. I have that free PDF that's still up there. You can buy my book if you just go to javabud.com. It's right there on the front. Click on that. It'll take you right to Amazon, and you can buy it. The Kindle version is actually free if you're part of the Kindle Unlimited, as well as I've enrolled it into the Kindle. Do you know Kindle has a library now where you can,
I did not.
Yeah, where you can actually act as a library and you can check stuff out for free. Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
That's a game changer.
I know.
That's a game
Check it
changer.
out.
Yeah.
And I didn't even realize this
check it
until
out.
I started to go through the process of figuring out how to put my book up and how to get it to everybody out there. And they said that there's an option to where you can let us, rent it out as a kind of a library thing.
That's
and I'm
amazing.
Like, rock and roll. Go ahead and do that. The more people, because really,
Yeah.
I don't intend to make any money on the book. I didn't write the book to make any money. Like none. I mean, I want to make some money for singleton moms because 10% of the net proceeds go to them. But
Which is awesome.
but
Yes.
I didn't write the book for that. What I wrote the book for is to help people out and to use it as my calling card to get the word out and to find my tribe. That's the reason why I wrote the book. So I hope it works. I hope it works for you. So let me know when you finish
I
it.
think
Let
it's
me
gonna
know.
work.
Give me your 2 cents on
I
it.
will.
And write a
Absolutely.
review. For God's sakes, write a review.
Oh my God, I will. I promise.
Please,
I
write
will.
Everybody,
Yes.
please. The reviews are so important on Amazon. It's
They are.
incredible. So I appreciate that. And everybody who has written it, I gave away 10 free last week because I put that in the and they went in like 2 days.
Oh,
that was
cool.
great. So thank you very much.
That's amazing.
And I'll be sending those out. The books will be here in 4 days. I'll be sending them out at that time, and you'll get them in like a week.
Perfect.
There you go. So thanks, Mariah. Appreciate it. Figured
Anytime.
you'd have a good, angle on this story.
Favorite topic of mine? Yep.
And we'll talk to everybody later.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.